I'm Randy Pettit, President of Domain Systems. If you've been around PLM, especially Agile PLM, I'd like to think that you'd be hard-pressed not to have heard of Domain Systems or worked with us, either presently or in the past, but welcome. As of Q4 of 2023, some new information was released by Oracle regarding Agile PLM, and that's the purpose of this video today, to talk to you about the state of Agile and what might be some productive options for Agile users that you might consider as this product goes forward for the next 5 years or so. So let's begin, should we? Again, if you're watching this, you probably have some connection with Agile PLM, either past or present. You might be a decision maker or involved with support of Agile. Just a little bit of background that you may or may not know. Agile software has in some form had quite a long run. It was formed in 1995 as a separate standalone company by a few old Sherpa systems employees way back when. That goes way back if you know of Sherpa. Back in 1999, they went public, and then they were acquired years later by Oracle. And it's still providing a lot of work and a lot of heavy lifting for a lot of manufacturers today. What we do, Domain, we feel, is to be able to help the customer identify data, find out what's most valuable in your practice, and then help you with best practices, with interoperability amongst your manufacturing tools, and then looking for ways to improve productivity by reducing cost of ownership with those tools. Back in October of 2023, Agile PLM 937 was judged by Oracle as no longer necessary after a workaround with the middleware was found, which was WebLogic. So, and some of you may or may not know that Oracle the WebLogic server is needed for application development and other things within Agile PLM. It's a unified and extensible platform for developing and deploying and running enterprise applications such as Java for on-premise and in the cloud. This made it so that the current 9.36 application stack could be continued when they decided that we did not need to update. So there you go. Therefore, Agile 936 is the current and expected release for the announced future, which was a big change. I think people were holding off going to 936 or making any major changes or decisions based on what was going to happen with 937. Well, that's where we are right now, and we're on the latest RUP as of this video. When I did a quick check, looks like the latest RUP is RUP 26. You can see the patch number there, and it was released in December of last year, just a few months ago. So the current roadmap, if you take a look at it, looks like this, and you can see that we are good for Agile 936 through to August of 2025. Now, given the track record, Oracle's track record of making changes when dates approach, this might very well be extended. What we're looking for here is the premier support versus sustaining support or any other kind of support. Premier is where they will continue to consider features and function upgrades as well as patches and bug fixes. This is what the picture looks like currently. Many of you might have already seen this. So the latest, what's in it? And I just want to brief over these slides because they're easily downloadable if you want to go just do a quick search on Oracle. But 936, for those of you who may not have gone to 936 yet or on the previous version, which by the way will now be dropped for any Premier support. Actually, it has been dropped for any Premier support. But these are the major reasons and the major upgrades when they went to 3.6, and the improvements continue along these lines for product collaboration, for platform improvements, which is critical if you're upgrading your hardware, you want to make sure that it's compatible with the software, and that will now be updated only in 936. Again, file management improvements, change management improvements, some smart rule things, attachment history, and then PPM for those of you who might be running PPM. If you're using engineering services, then the EC web service is changed. Common service improvements, you can see that there, and admin services as well have been improved. If just a little refresher course here, release pack updates, or RUPs, were first started in 2018, and that was on the promise of a new development technology for Oracle, which was Scrum development, and it's supposed to allow fast sprints, they call them, that happen in no longer than a month and commonly 2 or 3 weeks, where they're updating continually the software set that they currently have. So that's where RUPs came in, and that's why we're sticking on 936 dot whatever RUP we're currently at. And that will be the case going forward for the conceivable life of Agile PLM. The RUPs we were given assurance that they would be faster, they would be simpler, and much more predictable as we go forward. So you have options. We're talking application support, different from support to software that Agile would provide. So that's on number 3, where we're talking about obtaining application support in place. Going backwards, if you're migrating, now might be a good time to think about where you currently are with Agile PLM and what options might be available to you to move off if that is in your plan. Eventually, that's going to be a need for every Agile PLM owner. And if you want to keep Agile PLM, it's going to be around for a little bit longer. You're gonna have some good use to get out of it still. And if you update and pay the maintenance with Oracle, you're going to be able to stay up to date on the latest and greatest upgrades coming from Oracle as a company. Back down to the Oracle application support in place. We'll talk a little bit more about that. In fact, I'll talk about each one of these as we go forward. So I drew this chart up a long time ago to help people understand that the option that you choose really has to do with the level of pain that your company feels, anywhere from no pain at all the way to a situation where business might be halted or interrupted frequently. I'd say stoppage or interruptions, maybe even interference of day-to-day tasks related to the tool would make one seriously think about the benefits of moving to the next generation tool. So just kind of an idea there. So why upgrade to 936? First of all, it's the only premier version of Oracle supported going forward through August 2025. Important. And it could be extended beyond that. There will be security updates that will address all existing and any new identified vulnerabilities that might come. The function is mature and it works. It's tested and it's true. 9.3X has been around for more than a decade, so improving on that base till ultimately we're at 9.3.6 represents the latest software that implements all that has been learned. Its function is mature and it works. It's plain and simple. You'll continue to receive RUP improvements each quarter at least, keeping it relevant and up to date. Feature functionality and bug fix would be included in that. In addition, there will be platform coordination, and I mentioned that a little earlier, which is very important in order to make sure that the latest premier supported software works with the latest platform that a company might have. So the methodology that you would typically go through is listed up here for an upgrade. If you haven't already upgraded and are not currently on 936, these are the steps that you would go through in order to make that happen, making sure that you've covered all the bases as you go through it. It is a little bit of a process. Domain Systems has it down, we feel, and we can do it in fairly short order, making sure that the data is viable and taken care of all the way through. So that's upgrade. So moving on to the second option there, cloud, maybe going to cloud, which is really where we are with a choice. If you move to get off of Agile PLM, on-premise is no longer going to be a major choice, at least for any of the major PLM vendors. So interesting comment here, and I think my video has covered that out, but that's by SimData. The SimData Cloud PLM study was conducted in partnership with Oracle and other solution providers. And the study found that customers are very interested in convenience and economic advantages of the cloud. The top 4 benefits would be ease of management, ability to scale up and down, faster time to value, and reduce capital expenditure. So those are things that right now would be a good opportunity to take the time to think about as you look forward to the next 5 years or so in your PLM functionality. This represents, and it's kind of a busy slide, but it represents moving from Agile and the things that people have to think about as they do that. This was a specific customer. I'm not going to name that customer that we went through this exercise with. They found out that they decided that they wanted more usability associated with becoming more modern in the tool. And they were worried about obsolescence and all of the things that are on the left-hand side there in green and in blue in the flow chart. Their system looked a little bit like that mess right there. And so they needed a way to take 9.3.x and move it to a new and upgraded tool. We were able to handle that, in this case, with Oracle Cloud, that we have other options within Domain that we'd be happy to talk to you about. We're interested in making sure that the best solution for your company and the way you do business is taken into account. But we were able to plug that in, hook up all the interoperability that went along with it with other tools, make sure that the data is centralized, which was a big key capability here, so that all of the different tools in an environment are accessing and utilizing the same copy, not copying important data more than once, but accessing the data and using it, and every tool could access it from there. One of the many things to take into account when moving is making sure that the function remains the same or preferably better, and the data is enhanced. This requires an evaluation for transformational mapping of data to see how company information or function will perform in the new environment. So added in this picture then would be the ability to take advantage of manufacturing data, the ability to store the information so that all disparate application can use it once that it's not kept in various copies inside silos around the company. That's what we're trying to eliminate. So you do have to transform the data and take a look at that. And that's a major concern as you go forward and consider which application in the cloud that you might be going to from Agile. This is a picture of what a move from on-premise to cloud might entail, just to let you know that we do have a process and it is quite involved, and Domain would be happy to sit with you and walk through how that is accomplished. Important that you cover all the bases. So Domain has a pretty extensive application support program that called Center of Excellence, or COE, you might hear it called. Within that program, we offer support on older versions of Agile, going back to even to Agile Advantage. But I'd have to say that most of our premium clients are supported on 9.3.6 because we've updated them to that because it would be beneficial to the company to be able to do that. Let me quickly walk through, and I'm not going to read all these because it becomes an eye chart here soon, but what we provide, first of all, for support, and customers have enjoyed that kind of support from us, is experience, our capability, our expertise. We've been around since 1996 working on this stuff. Our flexibility and the value that we provide, I believe, is an ROI above and beyond what the cost of any application support would be. So jumping into some of the examples of what we cover, and again, this is an eye chart. I'm not going to go over every single thing, but just to give you an idea of the breadth of things that we can touch and work with you on and help you to increase the productivity and get the very most out of this very mature Agile PLM product that you've got. By the way, I should mention that we also support other PLM cloud tools, and we can help with application support on that, but specifically we're talking about Agile and how to get the most out of it here. We can support anything from just the system and helping the administrators do better and get more out of it to helping with the user desk and Agile end user support. We can craft a support package to meet the needs of the customer, but we also have 3 levels of premium support in Platinum, Gold, and Silver that we'd be happy to talk to you about. But again, there's a benefit there. We believe that the benefit far outweighs the cost. We can help you with future things. So again, if you are looking down the road a few years to go into another tool, we can help you with planning as well as in the future, as well as currently where you are and taking stock with what you've done with your system and maybe do an audit and talk about how we can better make your system work for you. If you have development needs, we can use some of those support hours to help you develop something that might be needed that's a unique functionality in terms of an Agile PX or utility. So in summary, Agile PLM 3.6, 9.3.6 is the latest version, and we're staying on the latest rep allows any patch and feature to be realized on your current hardware platform. So you have options. You may choose to remain on Agile for the time being, taking advantage of its maturity and functionality, realizing that acquisition costs are in the past, making it more cost effective for you to keep. You may decide that it's time to move on, exploring the options out there. This means hosting or cloud for any of the mainstream PLM offerings that you might be looking at. We can help you with that again. With this choice comes more flexibility and, again, the latest in innovation. With either of these choices, you can craft a plan that will get you into the next 5 or 10 years by evaluating them now. That plan can be done through application support. Domain can help with that, making sure historical data is kept and utilized to its fullest and organizations synergized efficiently. Domain premium support that I mentioned earlier help PLM users get the most out of their systems and now and ongoing minimizing or eliminating downtime and inefficiency. So that's my quick video blog, a little bit longer than quick, I guess, but wanted to bring you all up to date on where Agile 9.3.6 stands and why it is the version going on into the future. Thank you very much.